Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the P-LotPodcast. John here, joined once again by the main man. Wait a minute, you're not Michael.
Smooth. What an honor it is to be in Michael's seat today.
Yeah, so Michael's currently on a plane down to Orlando, Florida, so he's not able to broadcast from 35,000 feet in the air tonight. So we had to enlist a friend of the show, Zach Kovach, to fill in for him tonight. Zach, how are you feeling, man?
Very honored to be on the show tonight. As soon as you told me Michael was heading down to Florida, super fired up for him and the lady. Very excited for that. Hoping they're drinking around the world. But yeah, things are good, dude. Things are good. Just super excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, and like we had a as football season unwinds, we just went through NFL Championship weekend. Super Bowl will be in less than 2 weeks from now. This is going to be the first weekend of no football, and then we have the Super Bowl, and then we have
Well,
8 months.
technically, do we have when's flag football?
Oh, you mean the Pro Bowl? That would be
Pro
this
Bowl.
weekend. Yes, the Pro Bowl.
Is that actually this weekend? Is
That
rumor?
will be this weekend. It's usually I thought it's always the week there's no Super Bowl when the week before the Super Bowl.
I thought I saw was maybe middle of next, like maybe Tuesday, something random, but
Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday.
yeah, yep, Tuesday next week. That's crazy. You see,
Yeah,
Shadur made the Pro Bowl.
Shadur made the Pro Bowl. The Browns. He is I think Baker made the Pro Bowl too, if I'm not mistaken. I was gonna say if they ever drafted a Pro Bowl quarterback since their new iteration
Yeah, it would probably
as the
be.
the Browns.
I think when Baker was still the quarterback of the Browns, people were still going to the Pro Bowl. Now it's one big joke, and nobody shows up
So
anymore.
believe it or not, Zach, Baker never made the Pro Bowl as a Cleveland Brown. As he's made the two Pro Bowls as a Buccaneer. So I believe Shador is the first quarterback the Browns have drafted to be a Pro Bowl quarterback since I don't even know if Derek Anderson was drafted by that. That's the name you don't even know who that is. So yeah, so that's kind of funny. It's like Shadur's in the Pro Bowl because I don't think he played well enough to be a Pro Bowler. And yet,
No, I think the stat is what, 7 picks and 7 touchdowns, and he's a Pro Bowler,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, it's a bit of as I like to call it, it's a bit of a fugazi. So anyway, Zach, we had NFL Championship weekend this past Sunday. We had a huge snowstorm, but we had some things going before that. So the I know you're not a big Sixers guy. Sixers had a really tough loss Saturday night against the Knicks, and then Monday they got clapped. Last night, Michael went to the game. They beat the Bucks. We
Oh,
got the Fly guys, and I asked Michael on the show, like, what do we make of the Flyers? Because they got shut out 4-0 against the Islanders, and now tonight they're tied 1-1 against the Blue Jackets.
they're actually losing 2-1 at the
Oh,
moment.
they're losing. Yeah, I turned the game off
End
because
of
I
the
didn't want to
first.
distract, but doing the show.
Yeah.
But Michael's take had this like 10-minute rant this past weekend. I know you were very much in agreement with him. So, like, what is your take on like kind of what's going on with the Flyers? Because you're a big Flyers guy. You love watching puck. You're a big fan. We got the Olympics coming up,
Big
but
Olympics coming
the
up.
heart is with the home team.
Absolutely.
Dude, like, I want to hear kind of your opinion on the Flyers.
Yeah,
And
so I was tuned into the show on Saturday morning. Right, it was Saturday morning. Tuned in the
actually, it's
show.
Sunday morning. We
Was
did.
it I think you know what? It was Sunday morning. It was right before the game started. Sunday morning, tuning in the show. What do you know? My favorite topic. Michael's going off about the Flyers, and I couldn't agree with him anymore. Um, I really wanted us to just stink all year because I have the best interests of the franchise future. Um, So hearing Michael talk about specifically Mitchkov coming over 2 years earlier than it was expected, because I don't think Danny's plan was to kind of go in all in this year. Not that he went all in, right? We haven't really given up all that much, but the fact that we needed to try and compete this year because we had Mitchkov on his super cheap deal, because he'll probably be an all-star and what we project him to be. So it just stinks that it started off so well, right? Getting our hopes up. Hey, maybe we're a playoff team, to losing something like 7 or 8 straight and then just being anything but consistent recently. Results like getting smoked by the Rangers, and the next game you come out and beat Vegas, and you beat the Avalanche, but you lose to the Sabres. And results like that really start to add up, and you wish we just kind of sold off some of the older pieces so we can go full on tank mode for another year or two, and just be half decent for once in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and like Michael's the big issue is the Flyers basically screwing around with Mitch Kopp's ice time. So I'll just give you an example, Zach. I pulled up Nathan McKinnon's career stats. In Nathan McKinnon's career, and I would say the Avalanche were in a similar position as the Flyers were early on in McKinnon's career. Same thing, guy who was like 18 years old, comes in the NHL, doesn't play in the AHL, doesn't stay in juniors. He's drafted and then
Immediately, right,
he's in the league
right.
basically. It took him like 5 years before he started really breaking out with the Avalanche. And oh, we lost Zach. Hold on. Let's see if we can get Zach back. Oh, Zach, we lost you there for a second, but you're
We're
back.
back. I don't know what happened, but we're back.
Okay. So I was kind of I was trying to compare like Nathan McKinnon, who's going to be the, by the way, the reason why I mentioned Nathan McKinnon is because he's going to be the MVP of the NHL this year. I'm very confident in that
Yeah,
take. I would be shocked if he's not. So I have like Mitch Cobb's ice time, and the Flyers. The issue is like Tockett's kind of coaching this team, like they're trying to be a playoff team, and it's not what they should be doing, right?
right.
And you see them getting their asses kicked almost like on a nightly basis now, and you would accept it if we're trying to give Denver Barkey like 15 minutes, a game. Matvey Michkov 17, 18 minutes game. Like you look at like a Connor Bedard, like the Blackhawks try to play him as much as humanly possible to get him experience. Now, like Michkov, like look at his development, it's kind of lagging behind, and there's no accountability from like the coaching staff, and it's just really frustrating. Like I would that's kind of like my Michael went out. That was kind of my take on it as well. So
I do. On one hand, I very much agree with you. On the other, I think some of it is on Mitchkov for coming in unhealthy at the beginning of the year. On one hand, enjoy your off season, right? I totally get that. On the other, we're going to need you for the start of the year, so coming in out of shape doesn't help anybody. Um, but I totally agree with play him as much as possible. Who cares if we stink? Like you're saying about Connor Bedard, I think that applies to Macklin Celebrini. The Sharks were not a great team. Put him on the first line, give him 20 minutes a night, play him as much as possible, and see him develop, because that is ultimately what we need this year. We don't need more Coots. We don't need more Noah Cates. We need more Michkov, Barkey. Give me Bump. Give me Oliver Bonk. Give me all these young guys to come through and play as much NHL minutes as possible.
I agree, man. And I mean, we'll see. I mean, I do feel like now. I guess we can't complain if they're losing because that's what the intended result. It's just gonna
Right.
suck if they're losing, and you see like Travis Konechny playing like 18 minutes. You know,
We
them like
totally agree. I wonder if it was maybe we started well and Mitchkov wasn't playing originally because he was hurt, and it was hey, he's a third line guy right now because we're bringing his minutes back. 15, 20 games into the season, maybe we can move him up, but hey, we're winning with this style, with how we are at the moment. Let's not mess with what's working. And now the wheels are starting to fall off. Ladar gets hurt, Risto's coming back. That's a good thing, but you know what I'm saying? You
Versus
can't,
missed most of the season. And here's the thing, Zach, is like you like Tocchet keeps making these comments about complimenting players like, oh, he showed up in camp in shape. It just feels
right.
like he's taking a shot at Mitchkov. And it's sort of like, okay, he showed up in camp in shape. Well, he's not a good hockey player. So like think like how absurd is that, dude? Imagine in football if like Nick Sirianni talked about pick like a crappy Eagles player, like Grant Calcaterra, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Grant Calcaterra, like yeah, he showed up in camp in shape." And then he asked about Dallas Goddard. He's like, "Oh well, Dallas needs to do a better job making sure he catches the ball
Yeah.
consistently."
Sidney Brown's been in here all summer putting in work.
Yeah,
And
it's just
Reed Blankenship's been putting out podcasts for 2 years now.
yeah, it's
There we
just
go.
it just seems so childish and dumb.
Right.
And then to make it worse, it's like
Are you a Tocchet guy? You like Tocchet?
I was at first I like it. Now like the fact he's like, I don't know. I know you like spitting chiclets. Like
Yeah.
you're a fan of spitting chiclets. I'm not a fan of the coach potentially talking to the hosts of the show. And then the hosts of the show are spitting
Tweets.
talking points that could be talking points the coach is saying. Like imagine on because I know you're a big McAfee guy. Imagine if McAfee went on his show and was like, I don't know, let's just say McAfee's friends with Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Washington Commanders. And then McAfee just goes on this like rant where he's like, Jane Daniels is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. Like, I heard that he showed up out of shape. And he's just bagging on him. And then you're like, why is he all of a sudden like he talks possibly about everybody? Now he's just bagging on Jane Daniels.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Sirianni and Schefter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would almost be like to me if I'm
Wow.
Danny Briere, I might tell like if I'm Danny Briere, if my GM's talking to like Ryan Whitney and like Paul Beeson, and I like their show. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's great.
gagging on this
Right.
show, but I would be like, dude, if you talk to them one more time, I said you're fired. Don't you talking about my players that we're paying? I'm paying you to coach. Go to a podcast like a 10-year-old girl to go
Yo,
trash them.
especially when the only thing they've put out in the last year is it's a new era of orange. Like Michkov is the new era of orange. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's insane. Like, dude, this isn't like a Joel Embiid early Sixers where like Embiid had a lot of injuries, so you're not going to play him a whole lot because like I don't want to risk injuring him. All Tocchet had to say is this: okay, like I want to play Matvey more, but he had an injury that affected his training. I'm not
Yeah.
going to play him 19 minutes a game because I don't want to risk him tearing a hamstring, tearing an ACL, blowing his back out, ruining his development. I have to
Well,
manage that along with the team.
yeah.
That's all he had to say. If he said that, this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Everything but blowing his back out. I totally agree with you.
Not, you know what I mean. Don't stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, am I drinking? Oh.
I noticed that. I honestly I thought the show was brought to you by Olipop, but I see it may be a Miller Lite
I
show.
think the show is kind of sponsored partially by Miller Lite. Oh boy! All right, I'm warmed up. You know what? All right, let's. So Saturday, like low key, kind of sucked watching sports. Not gonna lie, it kind of blew. All right,
Remind me, what was on Saturday? Was there really
the
anything on
Sixers. Yeah, the Sixers. I mean,
Bye, guys.
I know you're not like. I know you're like not really big into the Sixers. It was tough. All right, let's talk into Sunday. All right, Zach. So as you know, I'm a fan of Manchester United. You got me into Manchester United. Your fandom of Manchester United is like Michael and I's fandom with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Would you like to explain to the listeners what occurred late Sunday morning when you were watching Premier League ball?
Yeah. So for those who, obviously I'm a long time listener, come on, when Smooth needs, more than happy, right hand guy, right, happy to help. So I don't always I'm much more in tune with the soccer side of things. So Sunday morning, new year, new me. I'm out here trying to cut some lbs. I'm running on the elliptical. Smooth, I know you're in a similar realm. All good things. Come back, shower up, ready to watch the boys. 11:30, we play against Arsenal, who are number one in the Premier League. They play a kind of shite style of football, I
I'll
think.
just explain to the listeners
Yeah.
Arsenal is basically like the Dallas Cowboys of the Premier League.
And the way they play is as if it's hockey and you're playing for power plays. You're tripping on purpose, or it's the NBA and you're playing for free throws rather than trying to score.
That's a good comp. They're like so
Uh,
that the Knicks do that all the time. Like Jalen Brunson will literally
yeah, lean into guys
like
and
the way he like flips and dives. He looks like if you grew up watching wrestling, he's like Jeff Hardy.
well, and not to throw stones from the glass house, but Joel Embiid may also be considered one of those guys as well.
Oh no, but Jalen Brunson takes it to like a whole new level.
He does.
Like we talk like
He
LeBron's
does.
called the flop. Like Jalen Brunson's literally like runs into people and like throws his body at them,
Yeah.
and then it's a foul.
So we're playing against Arsenal, who do this same kind of thing. What they do is they hold the ball, meaningless possession is what I like to call it. They hold on to it, do nothing with it, zero threat other than corner kicks, right? They win these corner kicks. They put 10 guys in the box around the goalkeeper, chaos, try and get one to fall their way. So they are still first in the league, although they do this. So we had a fantastic result at the Emirates, right at Arsenal Stadium. We ended up winning 3-2 in what was an incredible game. Shout out the lady. Kate's out here yelling at me, "Hey, you better keep it down. We have neighbors. I really like our apartment. I'm not trying to get kicked out." Right. So things
Not
like that.
Malik neighbors, just overall neighbors.
It's neighbors, right?
Yes.
Um, so super exciting Sunday morning. And that's right after I'm listening to the pod before I got the game on. So what a great start to snow's coming down outside. Just an
Yeah. Yes.
snow day.
Uh, I'm sure a lot of listeners are local. I'm sure like we got hammered with snow. So it started snowing like around like 9 a.m. and because I woke up like early and I'm thinking like, do I want to like run to the grocery store, run and get food because I know I'm
Well,
probably not gonna be able to go out later and
till
get
like
it.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't do that. I was just being lazy.
Legit.
Yeah, dude, it was yeah, it was crazy because it was like you're I don't know. I don't know. You and I are very different when it comes to watching like sports. I feel like I like going out to watch. I know
Yeah.
you like to stay home because you got the big like 80-inch TV at home. You got the big comfy couch. You got the nice apartment. You know,
I just like being able to immerse myself in the game. I can totally see why we love the bar scene, and for a little run after work or something. Hey, Thursday night football, love that run up with the guys. But if it's like, hey, couple games on today, nothing better than blasting the sound bar, HD, mega high def. Let's watch the ball game, have a couple cold ones at the crib, save a couple bucks, and really get into it.
yeah, I like to. Yeah, so I like.
And I know you're a
I don't
big
mind watching at home, but if anyone's like, "Yo, do you want to go out and watch the game?" I'm always down. I like kind of like going out to the bar because you get to people watch a little bit. You got all the
yeah.
TVs there, so everywhere you look, there's the game. I really, you know what? I love it. I like it for football, Zach. I like to watch the Eagles at home, either if I'm at the game myself, because I'm as a season ticket holder, or watch them at home. Just because like it can get really frustrating, like very quickly, watching it at like the bar, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to be like drinking there and being miserable or pissed off. I'd
Right.
rather be like in my own
Miserable.
asylum, I guess. In the way,
Yeah.
like I'd rather. It's almost like I'd rather be in the padded cell and have that happen as opposed to being in public when it
Yeah.
happens. You know. But yeah, I mean, not to get off. I'm not trying to get off topic.
No, so it was an incredible start to the Sunday, and then to go from that to, hey, an hour or two off. Let's make some dinner, maybe shovel off the cars real quick, and let's settle in for some AFC Championship and NFC Championship.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
So yeah, let's talk about the AFC Championship. So Patriots Broncos. Um, Patriots won 10-7.
I think in soccer terms, that's 2-1. If you're lucky, maybe a 1-1 overtime winner.
I would say it was like almost like a 1-0 in soccer, or like if it was hockey, like 1-0. I really
You know what? It started off very exciting. Stidham's first drive, you were like, "Hey, this could be a shootout."
City.
Stidham looks very good early on, and then I think as the game progressed, the snow started picking up. I mean, I know Tony Romo was pointing it out every other second that there was snow coming down, as if I couldn't see it on my big ass TV. I definitely saw the snow myself. Uh,
You know what's funny?
it
So
turned into
like
weather, you know.
I feel like we got. I want to talk about Tony Romo for a little bit. When he first became a broadcaster, I thought he was pretty good, and he's just fallen off so much. Like, it's interesting because I think we'll talk about Brady later, but I feel like Tony Romo first was trying to be professional and like, oh, I'm gonna offer my insight. I'm gonna call out these plays. I'm gonna explain what this play does, or oh, hey, here's this look. This is play. I think this is what they're trying to do. Like offer like analysis, as a color commentator. And now it's just like, half the time, Zach, he's like, I don't know, Jim. I wonder what they're gonna do here. Like, it's like your fucking weird. Pardon my language. It's like your weird uncle, like doing like ketamine, and he's at your house, and he's just like making weird noise. I don't understand. It's so bizarre. Like what are your thoughts? Like you kind of said it. It's like no, duh, Tony. Like
Yeah, you just talked about the snow a lot. I was like, yo, I get it. It looks like and you know what? I honestly thought the Broncos were going to win it down the stretch. I'm not an avid Patriots fan, but I do love Mike Vrabel and love Drake May. Just love the cut of those guys' jibs. Love the team guy Vrabel is.
well, I think
But the snow at the end of the game was going with the Broncos, and only being down 3, I thought, hey, maybe they get the running game going. They can probably score this, win this, and Stidham going to a Super Bowl.
yeah. So early in the game, the Broncos were moving the ball with Stidham. He had the big pass completion down the field, threw the touchdown to Cortland Sutton. He looked a lot like Brock Purdy, that little short quarterback, rag arms, moving around, making plays. And I'm thinking like, oh, he's kind of Purdy-ish. But then Michael brought this up about a guy on TikTok. His name's Theo Ash. Brought up basically about how in his limited amount of games, like Jared Stidham was like second in the NFL for like negative plays. In other words, bad sacks, bad turnovers, bad decisions, right? Well,
Yep.
they're driving down the field again. They're up 7-0, and they go for on 4th and 1. And listen, Michael and I agree with this too because I'm always for going for it.
Mhm.
He was also for going for it. Bro, your quarterback's Jared Stidham. Just kick the field goal. Like,
Take
what
the
are you
points.
doing?
Take the points.
Take the
Snow's coming
points.
any minute. Take the points.
Because that changed the whole dynamic of the game. Because later in the game, Broncos are backed up in their own end of the field. Stidham, negative play guy, throws a backwards pass picked up by the Patriots. Probably should have been ruled a defensive touchdown, but they blew the play dead.
Yeah.
Well, that was the only touchdown for New England because they got the ball at like Denver's like 15-yard line.
Legit. Yeah.
And then it's tied. So then what happens later in the game, Zach? Patriots get another good drive against Denver. They kicked a field goal.
Ball
Now
game.
they're up 10-7. If it's 10-10 in the snow, gridlocked, it would favor Denver, you'd think, right? Because of the better defense. They could force a turnover,
Yeah.
get a sack, force Drake May to fumble, pick it up, run the other way. They could be more aggressive on defense because they're not worried about giving up a big play. That's just my take. I don't. I like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's a great take. What do you think? You think Sirianni goes for it on 4th and 1, backup quarterback, NFC Championship like that?
No, no, he's too
He takes the
conservative.
points. Really?
I think he takes the points.
Wow.
Well, the
Regular
Eagles are unique
season,
because they
no.
have a play that could pick them up 1 yard, and they have a
Right.
running back that's very good at picking up one. See, here's the issue with Denver, and then Michael and I brought this up on the show, and I think I've said this to you before. Everyone makes fun of this guy for constantly getting injured. J.K. Dobbins was probably like the offensive MVP this year for the Denver Broncos because he was on pace to run for 1,500 yards before his injury, and their running game, which was really ranked pretty well, very high success rate, very good ground attack, just fell into the toilet when he got hurt. And I'm sure you had R.J. Harvey in fantasy, right?
Yeah.
How much did R.J. Harvey frustrate you this year?
Well, but before Dobbins got hurt, very much. I think he had a week or two over 15 points, and even when Dobbins went down, well, 2 points. So McLaughlin's not a big guy either, right? They're both smaller running backs. Dobbins is probably 5'11", 6 foot. He's a bigger, but still, even with his injuries, fantastic running back. Was having a great year. Second point, Harvey wasn't really great at running the ball. He was a great pass catcher. All of his fantasy points were coming off 20-plus yard screen plays or him being a third wide receiver. You know what I mean? So they really
Exactly.
didn't have much of the running game. And their defense was very good at hiding that. They could win games just based off how good their defense is.
Yeah, and I mean that's another thing too, bro, is like for Denver, Brees Hall's a free agent. If I'm Denver, maybe just give him the bag. You got what?
How long is Dobbins around for?
I think he's only on a 1 year contract. I mean, he got hurt again. So, I mean, you can't really rely on him, and I think Denver has a great offensive line, as you well know, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
think like you have a great O line, like why can't you run the ball well? It's because the running backs aren't very good at running the ball.
Yeah, Harvey's more of a pass catcher.
Harvey's like, yeah, exactly. It's like the same. I remember Sean Payton back in the day. He had like he had a really good running back. I'm sure you heard of him, Mark Ingram, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of years. Mark Ingram was like an average running back who, because the Saints had a very good run scheme, they would just pick up tons of yards. The scheme's still good. It's just not very good players. It's like the Birds before they got like Saquon Barkley, when you had like Miles Sanders or he got hurt, like Jordan Howard or like Josh Adams. Great O line. You just had like bad running backs. So like
Swift.
Swift was okay,
He
but
was
like
okay. But
you
for
saw
that,
what happened when he brought in a talented running back with
yeah,
their O line. You saw it last year.
yeah,
What
record
happens?
numbers,
So
legit.
I wonder. So I
No
wonder if
Kelsey either.
Denver's going to either go out and either one of two things, maybe break the bank for Brees Hall,
Or
jump up in the draft, and take Jeremiah Love because he is
right,
a Sean Payton running back. Because
yeah,
he can catch passes, block, and he's very good at running like in between the tackles, outside the tackles. Anywho, let's just get back to let's just get back to the championship game. I thought that with what Vrabel was doing, where he was not taking any risks, that was I saw like Roma was like, "Oh, that's brilliant," and then people were like, "Oh, what do you mean? Oh, he's being too conservative." Like, dude, they can't. If Denver can't move the ball and you're up by 3, make Jared Stidham beat you.
right.
If the Patriots lost that game, if I'm Vrabel at the podium, if we can't beat a Jared Stidham-led offense, we don't deserve to go to the Super Bowl.
100%. I think the weather had more effect than we'd like to think. Like if it was an average day outside, it would have been a more entertaining football game. So I can't put it all on Stidham, but
Let me ask you this.
Vrabel's been in this scenario not too long ago with the Derrick Henry-led Tennessee Titans with a mediocre quarterback. You know what I mean? So he's take the points, play smart football, do the right things.
Well, yeah, Vrabel's obviously a great coach. I want to ask you this: if the weather was nicer, do you think the Patriots win? I think they do.
I still think they do win. I don't think we've seen the best of Drake May this playoffs at all. He's been obviously, if not first, second best for MVP this year with not amazing weapons, but if he still hasn't gotten to his full potential in the playoffs. Granted, he's 2 years younger than I am. I mean, the guy's 23 years old, second season in the NFL in the Super Bowl. What an incredible feat as is, you know?
I agree, and I do think because the jump up in talent is much higher for Drake May this postseason because they had who they had to go through. They had to go through
The Texans
the Texans, the Chargers, and now the
and the Broncos,
Broncos.
all
Those
those,
are the three best defenses in the AFC,
and
right?
and then who are they going to play in the Super Bowl?
The Seahawks, who also have maybe the best defense in the NFC.
Right.
So if Drake May can win his first Super Bowl in his second year against the four best defenses in the NFL, that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Right.
Besides just winning a Super Bowl, like that's an amazing accomplishment. But we do have some callers. Do we have the callers
Absolutely. Yeah. Call him in.
queued up? I'd like to hear some opinions on this Bronco Patriot game because I remember we were texting in our group chat and we were like, "This game's boring," and I don't know, man. I thought like them playing in the snow, that visual, and they're just hammering each other. That's football to me.
Yeah,
That's football.
it is. Come on.
Like football's not playing in a dome with no weather, and it's like they're zipping up and down the field. I don't know.
Listen,
I mean,
I'll be honest. I love that for the playoffs. I love that for the regular season. The Super Bowl, I think, needs to be perfect conditions.
I
do
agree.
not
So it
want
doesn't affect. So one team doesn't gain an advantage.
Right, because I genuinely thought the Broncos were going to win it. The way the snow was coming in, it was all in their favor.
You know what? It's I if Bo Nix played, dude, I do think they might still lose.
Really?
Turns it over a lot. I know Stidham had a bad
Oh,
turnover in the snow.
that
He
was
had two bad turnovers. That's what did him in. It's also Jared Stidham, but I don't know, man. To me, it's like I don't know. This NFL to me, it's.
I'm happy for Denver. I like that they were bold. As soon as Sean Payton gets there, yeah, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Trade Russell Wilson. Who cares about the cap hit? You know, let's bring in my guys. Like I like that it favors the bold. You know what I mean? Even if they don't win it this year, I think it's great for football.
No, I think it's great to kind of see different teams.
Absolutely. That was
Get
one of the things I was most excited about was there's no Chiefs, there's no Ravens, there's no Bengals. Love obviously sucks the Eagles are out, but there's no like it is all pretty much different teams other than the Rams being in the mix.
right, and the Rams were considered the best overall team in the postseason.
Absolutely.
And
I told
was,
you early days they were winning the Super Bowl.
that was proven incorrect. It's what I find interesting because the Patriots out back in the Super Bowl, but with an entirely different team than what they had. We got a caller, by the way, so we're going to
bring him in. Bring him in. Let's hear it.
All right, caller line one.
All right, thanks Thanks for taking my call here, guys.
Can you hear him, Zach?
Yeah. Put him a little closer, but I think I can. Who is this caller, by the way?
Caller, can you identify yourself?
Absolutely. This is Miles Mackler. We're calling in here from Ballard Kenwood, Pennsylvania. And obviously, as always, we're very grateful for you guys taking our call here.
What a pleasure it is to have you.
Yeah, Mac, do you want to do like the guy on Instagram where he calls up Philly Sports Talk Radio? He's like, I'll tell you what, John.
Put on a fat Delco accent.
Yeah, put on a fat Delco accent and start ranting for 2 minutes straight, and then I'll let y'all talk about it and then hang up.
Sound like Brogan?
I can give him my best shot here.
I mean, you don't have to. I was just giving you a hard time.
Well.
So what's going on today, Miles?
Maybe someday.
So, Mac, we're talking about Patriots, Broncos, and Zach and I were kind of bringing up the fact that, I thought, it was a hard-fought game. We still both think the Patriots would have won. What are your thoughts on that, on Patriots, Broncos?
Yeah, I thought it was a good football game. I thought it was competitive from the start, which I expected. Obviously, the snow and the weather coming in the second half kind of put a damper on the excitement of the game. But I thought it was hard fought. I mean, Jarrett Stidham, for a guy who hasn't played a regular season snap since I think they said 2023, but I thought he may have taken a snap at some point last year.
No, he didn't take a snap. He didn't attempt to pass in 2 years.
Is that right? That's what I thought I read on the broadcast. He didn't look like it. It didn't look like a guy that hadn't taken a snap in 2 years, especially to start. I mean, he came out cool, calm, collected. He was enjoying time with his teammates for the game, taking pictures of his family. It didn't look like the moment was too big for him, if I'm being completely honest. The first drive, obviously they went 3 and out pretty quickly. He had some shaky throws. But then that second drive, that touchdown drive that he orchestrated, it kind of just felt like the Broncos were going to the Super Bowl, right? The crowd was juiced up. I mean, he was in rhythm. He was making reads left and right. And then before you know it, Courtland Sutton's in the end zone. It's 7-0.
The comp that I gave Mac on that was it. Watching him play felt like watching a Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers play.
Yeah, I like that. Very, very much in rhythm. Just, not being a superhero, just following the script kind of thing and trusting the coaches to put yourself in the best position. I totally agree. And I thought the game plan that Sean Payton kind of rolled out with was good. It was working early, short intermediate throws, and he was accurate.
I would say he looked like Diego Pavia, but he's a little taller than 5'9".
Diego Pavia.
But he's a little taller than 5'9".
Oh man!
Maybe he was Diego Pavia if he stood on a phone book.
Definitely Diego Pavia-like, right? Like, it didn't look like the moment was too big. He wasn't fazed by anything. He was just going out in his backyard and playing some ball, and that's what it looked like to me. But the fact that they didn't score a point the rest of the game after that drive is got to be devastating for Broncos fans. Obviously, they could have come away with some points for the half. Let's not miss the field goal or whatnot, and then the weather conditions obviously completely deteriorating in the second half. I feel horrible for Denver. I thought they were the better team. I really did, and home field advantage I thought was going to play its part. But I'm happy for the Patriots. I do think, as much as people want to label the Mickey Mouse run, I think they're a deserving team and they're a good football team. And I'm excited to see them in the Super Bowl. But it was a good game. It was an old school, old fashioned AFC Championship showdown in the elements. It was competitive.
So Miles, 2 things I want to ask you about. Right. One, you brought up a great point, Mickey Mouse run for the Patriots. John and I were just talking about the caliber of defenses that the Patriots have come up against in their run to the Super Bowl. Give me some of your thoughts on the Chargers defense, the Texans defense, Broncos, and now going up against the Seahawks defense, maybe the best of the bunch.
Yeah, that's a great point. Everybody's quick to look at the offenses that they faced and the deficiencies that the offense that they do face have. But you're right. I mean, they've played some pretty solid defenses, and now whether they've put up a decent amount of points against them is negligent because they've won the games. But you're completely right. The Chargers defense is obviously no slouch, and regardless of if they put up 16 points against that defense, I mean, they still came away with enough points to win. And that's all that really matters. And same
That's
thing with the
football.
Texans. I mean, obviously, exactly. And the Texans, I think if it's not the Seahawks or the Eagles, have the best defense in the league. And they capitalize off some turnovers.
Right, absolutely.
They still made some plays against the Texans defense, which are are worth giving the flowers.
Hard to come by.
Kayshon Boudy's catch.
Kayshon Boudy's one-hand catch. I mean, Pop Douglas is opening touchdown of the game, the one-handed on 4th and 1. I mean,
Stephon Diggs.
That's good stuff against the top-tier defense. Stephon Diggs, exactly right. And then obviously, I mean, going into Denver and playing that defense in Denver is not easy to do. I mean, he came out with 10 points, but listen, Drake made the plays he needed to make to win the game. I mean, we saw the 3rd and 6 to ice the game away. I mean, those are the plays he needed to make. So I do think the Seahawks defense is probably the toughest defense they'll probably face. I think I'll give the Seahawks D a slight edge over the Texans, but I'm excited to see how Drake comes out and plays.
I would definitely give the Texans the edge over the Seahawks defense. We saw what happened to what the Rams offense was doing to the Seahawks defense, and that's
fair.
I think the Texans defense was like one of the most dominant defenses we've seen in a very long time.
The Seahawks are a very good defense. Do they have a Stingley or a Surtain out there? I don't know, but they are a very good defense. Nothing to write off for sure.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks defense might be the best coach defense in the NFL. But when you look at their defense, though, do they have a player on defense where you're like, wow, this guy scares me? Like, you look at the Texans defense, you got Will Anderson Jr.
They got a couple of them, absolutely.
Will Anderson Jr., the second best pass rush in the NFL behind Myles Garrett. And Michael and I have said this a lot about Myles Garrett. Like, he's probably should be held in the same regard as like a Reggie White or like a Lawrence Taylor in terms of a game wrecker. The opposing team must game plan their entire game about not letting him destroy the game.
Yeah, the second point, Miles, I wanted to bring up that you were talking about. Do you remember, I think the only time, obviously Stidham hasn't played in over 2 years in a regular season game, let alone a playoff game. We were actually watching Stidham's preseason game when we were down at, Club 6? What was the place called we were at for the late evening?
Yeah, a friend of ours threw up in his beer.
Do you remember when Stidham was dicing up the Cardinals when we were at that bar?
You know what? Now that you bring it up, it does ring a bell. And there were talks of, Sean Payton came out this week and was like, Stiddy's going to be ready. I mean, he's been here. He's done that. He looked phenomenal in the preseason. And this is obviously just me taking it with a grain of salt. I didn't watch him. But now that you bring it up, I kind of do remember he was diced up the Cardinals.
It was on that big ass screen when we were outside, and he was cooking the Cardinals. Franklin, the boys looked phenomenal, and we were like, "Who is this throwing the rock?"
You know what? It's coming back to me now. And that it adds up because supposedly reports were coming out of Denver like, Stiddy's ready, he's prepared. He looked phenomenal in the preseason.
I bought into it, not gonna lie.
I bought into it. Was Stidham the first guy Sean Payton signed in the offseason this year? I think he was first, at least the first day of free agency. I think he was the first guy they brought in.
I think you might be right. And it's funny, like, when we got the news that Bo Nix was going to be out for the season, I was like, well, who the hell is the backup quarterback? It wasn't like he was the known backup. He had been tenured there. He was ready to roll. It was, he had just come from, Vegas and free agency, and it was like, all right, well, who's going to back up Bo Nix? And it was like, no fear. Garrett Stidham's here. He looks good.
No fear.
And
Garrett Stidham's here.
I thought he played well, man.
I think he played well considering the circumstances. Here's the difference, though, between Jarrett Stidham and Nick Foles or Kurt Warner or some of these other backup quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. Those backup quarterbacks had a lot of played in games or had reps at some point in games. And we could talk about the preseason. Dude, the preseason is a preseason. No one's blitzing. No one's showing what they want to show, like, on tape.
Absolutely. Yep.
Listen.
I honestly, with what we saw, I totally get preseason. What we saw on the second drive from Stidham, I was like, holy shit, he has arrived. This is we're about to witness the next Nick Foles. You know what I mean? This is going to be, can he do it? I thought that was going to be the conversation.
But here's the thing, though, too. I wanna bring up, and Mac, I don't know if you want to agree with me here. The Patriots defense, believe it or not, this year was ranked top 2.
I held them in fantasy for a while. Go ahead, Mac.
They're definitely sneaky good. I don't think people talk about them enough, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, their interior pressure is phenomenal, right? We love Milton Williams. He's been balling, right? He's been absolutely balling with the pass. Christian Barmore is a nightmare. He wreaks absolute havoc in there. And they got 2 veteran edge rushers who've been playing pretty well. I mean, Caleb on Chason, kind of with the career resurrection, didn't work out very well in Jacksonville when he got drafted there. Great, whatever. He's come to New England and kind of resurrected the career, and then Harold Landry has been balling as well. I mean, he's kind of been, I wouldn't say a journeyman. I mean, he spent a lot of time in Tennessee, but it seems like they're all on the same page over there. And I know they've had some injuries with their linebackers. I know Spillane went down on Sunday. I'm not sure what his status looks like for the Super Bowl, but Jack Gibbons came in and played some good ball. Christian Ellis, the former Eagle, smart player, heady player, and their back end is filled with a lot of just young guys you've never really even heard of, but they ball, man. They ball. They're all in sync. Obviously, Christian Gonzalez is the big name, but we got guys like Craig Woodson, Jalen Hawkins. I mean, guys that the average Joe doesn't know, has never heard of. They can play some football, man, and it's pretty cool to see. Such a young secondary gel so well together. I'm not even sure what's going on with Carlton Davis. I haven't heard his name in a while. I don't remember watching him play on Sunday. He might be hurt for the year. But the Patriots.
I think he did play on Sunday. He did play.
Did he? Well, yeah. I guess it's a good thing that we didn't hear his name, right?
Well,
but they also did trade away Kyle Duggar and Keon White, who were both not veterans, but definitely steady NFL.
Yeah,
generally good players.
Well, when you're a competitive team like the Patriots were this year, playing for the 1 seed, when you're trading veterans away for draft picks, it's a little odd.
Right. They did have a Mickey Mouse schedule for the regular season. Absolutely, they earned that right for sure. But just to piggyback off Max, young, gelling defense, and trading away some of their older pieces.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, like. Even Jabril Peppers, they let go too, right?
Yeah.
Jabril Peppers.
Oh, well, he might have been let go for a different reason. The other guys were let go.
That's fair. But no, they let go of Kyle Duggar to Pittsburgh, Keon White. I don't even know where Keon White went, but they let go of some guys that have been playing some good football for him. And I guess it show you the amount of trust they had in their young guys, which is cool to see. I think the Patriots defense had been playing very well quietly all year, and nobody really wanted to kind of acknowledge it to an extent because of how well Drake May had been playing, right? He's kind of gotten all the attention.
Well, the New England Patriots this year are, as I would call, the 1 p.m. team. They've played almost all their games at 1 o'clock, so you never really sat down to really watch them this year until, Mac, you and I watched them at
Thursday Night Football Trevion.
When they played the Jets, and then obviously when they played the Bills on Sunday Night Football.
Right, you're completely right. I was just going to say, I think the the tide turn for me was, I think it was week 5. They went to Buffalo and played Buffalo on Sunday Night Football, and they beat Buffalo. And I was like, all right, maybe we have something here with this Patriots team. I know it still was kind of labeled as a developmental year for them, with Drake being on his second year, them coming off of a 5-4 win season. But they went to Buffalo and beat Buffalo. They were 3-2. I'm like, all right, we could have something with this team. And obviously they were playing teams that weren't great, but they kept winning. You can only play who you play. You don't pick your schedule. And they were going out there and doing it every week. And I thought they were impressive all year long. So I'm not shocked to see them in this spot, and I'm excited to see what they can go out and do here on Sunday. I would like to shed some light on the Seahawks, though, because I'm very impressed with John Snyder and what they've been doing over there. I mean, they've nailed multiple drafts in a row. I mean, 2023, when coming away with Devin Witherspoon and JSN in the first round, they had 2 first-round picks, and they nailed both picks, man. This past year, I mean, coming away with nobody talks about him, right? He's a right guard. Nobody talks about the offensive lineman. Gray Zabel has been fucking balling, man. I mean, he is unbelievable.
That's your one F word, by the way.
North Dakota State. I mean, he was a phenomenal pick. He was a safe pick, but he was the right pick, man. And he, for a Seahawks offensive line that has been lacking fortitude in the interior, I mean, he was the best thing that could happen to him. And then coming away with Nicky Manwari, too, like at the beginning of the second round, how the hell did he fall that far?
Shout out our boy Happy.
How the hell we let him go to Seattle, right? Like, he's Cam Chancellor, too.
Well, I wanted to when I remember on draft night, I kind of wanted the Eagles to take Gray Zabel because I was like, oh, this guy could be like another
Todd Harriman's?
No, I was gonna say
Evan Mathis?
No. I'm blanking on his name. Right guard when we won the Super Bowl.
Brandon Brooks?
Brandon Brooks, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. He's more than solid, and I mean his scouting report coming out was that he was one of the most pro-ready guys to come out of the draft, but he's a right guard from North Dakota State. Who the hell wants a right guard from North Dakota State, right? Like, but the Seahawks desperately needed him, and he's been paying dividends out the ass. I mean, he's been unreal. Anthony Bradford, their left guard, has been getting a lot of slack this year, deservedly so. I mean, he's been, if you go on Twitter, he's been one of the more shaky offensive linemen, especially when he puts out on film. But I think the rest of the offensive line makes up for it. They got 2 good tackles. Charles Cross has been playing well since they drafted him in the first round. Abe Lucas is a veteran. The Jake Brendel guy, the center, I've never even really heard of, but he's been playing pretty well. Their offensive line's been balling. I think it's a testament to Snyder and the draft. But I mean, like I was saying, Eamon Wari, since he got healthy and joined that defense, we saw it on Sunday, right? Him and Tariq Woolen were kind of jawing back and forth in the sideline. He's holding these guys accountable. Tariq Woolen with a really stupid
stupid play, yeah.
In a massive spot, right? It was a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 10. Tariq Woolen makes a good play on the ball, and he talks shit to the sideline as he's going back to his own sideline. And what happens? We got a first and 10, and the very next play, we got a Puka Nacua touchdown, and the game was flipped.
And that game was about to be over.
Yeah. And what we see on the sideline, we saw Nicky Manwari holding him accountable, right? We saw him trying to get his head back on straight. I mean, this guy is a rookie, and ever since he kind of was inserted in the lineup when he got healthy, he's been playing really well. So I'm impressed with Seattle's defense. John's completely right. There's no big names on the defense, right? Maybe Leonard Williams, maybe Ernest Jones.
Another one you haven't mentioned. You're talking about how they built it through the draft. I thought DeMarcus Lawrence was almost a bit of a salary dump when they first signed him. He's looked phenomenal as well.
Yeah, great point. I thought he was as good as washed when he left Dallas. I really did. I thought his best football was behind him. And he's come to Seattle. I mean, he's a dog. He's been creating turnovers. He's been great. I mean, to piggy off the draft, I mean, Byron Murphy, goddamn, their first round pick fucking last year is has been awesome. I thought he got snubbed this year for the Pro Bowl. He's been great too. I mean, they've nailed their past couple of drafts, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that's why their defense is balling like they are. And I mean, obviously Mike McDonald plays a part there too. You hire a defensive-minded coach, and he'll have the guys ready to go on a weekly basis. But I mean, I'm a quarterback. I wouldn't want to play that defense right now. That's all I'm saying.
Does McDonald give you Signetti vibes?
He definitely does. Now that you say it, McDonald. I mean, he was a great hire. He really was. I mean, he had that Ravens defense flying around for 2 or 3 years. And when he went to Seattle, I remember being like, that's a phenomenal hire. I think that's going to gel pretty well. And it absolutely did.
Last game as the Ravens defensive coordinator, they played the Chiefs in the AFC title game, and the Chiefs offense was held well in check. The Ravens lost because Zay Flowers had a mental breakdown in that game, committing a stupid penalty and fumbling at the goal line.
Right? Yeah, you're completely right.
They keep showing that McDonald clip of him from his first team meeting with the group, and it screams Kurt Signetti to me. I just love that he's like, hey, listen, we're bringing football back. The 12th man is so back. I thought there were rumors of, hey, they're tearing down all the old, Legion of Doom stuff, and this is a new era. But I really liked how he was, hey, 12th man's back. We're gonna win. I just thought he did a great job of seeing the future.
Yeah, no, he's a big culture guy. He really is. I thought he's completely shifted the culture. Obviously, it's no easy feat trying to replace Pete Carroll and what he did in Seattle, but Mike McDonald, he brings a great culture. He really does.
I think he's a better coach than Pete Carroll.
Yeah, well, I guess that's another argument, but no, he's I think he's phenomenal, and they even asked him on the stage post game. They're like, what do you think of all the critics, picking, they're all over the Niners and the Rams in your division. But he's like, we don't care. We focused on ourselves all year, and now we're going to the Super Bowl. I thought he was a perfect fit for Seattle, and it's really showing up here on Sundays.
All right,
Zach. And I guess last thing on Seattle too. Have you ever seen Kenneth Walker run the football any better than he has been in the past weeks?
It honestly it hurts my heart because they were giving so many touches to Charbonnet. Like, I could only imagine what Kenneth Walker's numbers would look like at the end of this year if they weren't giving him goal line touches to Charbonnet.
Well, Kenneth Walker's issues has always been his health, and I think they did a great job this year managing his health, getting Charbonnet touches. But now Charbonnet's injured. Now you can sort of unleash K9 out there. We saw how great he is running between the tackles, what he is in the passing game. If you saw that JSN touchdown, Mac, you would comment on this so well. That was a beautifully designed play by their OC, Clint Kubiak.
Where the safety followed the running back, and nobody followed JSN. Yeah.
So I mean, he's a very versatile player.
Yeah, he is, and I think you're right, Zach. Like, it's kind of like, where's this been all year? Like, where are these touches been all year? Obviously, if you're a fantasy owner of Kenneth Walker, it's like, well, holy shit, why are all the goal line carries going to Charbonnet? A lot of it is health related, right? Like, Kenny Walker's been dealing with injuries his whole career. I think they had a good idea that they were going to go to the playoffs and make a run, so let's try to sustain him as best we can. Let's limit his touches. But now with Charbonnet obviously being out, and we're in the playoffs, it's now do or die. This is Kenny Walker time, and he is totally taking advantage of his opportunity. He is running like a madman, and it's cool to see. It's the Heisman Trophy finalist Kenneth Walker that we saw at Michigan State. I mean, he's balling, and they brought in their backup. What's his name? George Halani for a couple plays on Sunday. He dropped a pass. He missed a block and pass throw. It's like, all right, they're feeling Charbonnet's absence pretty good. But you know what? It shouldn't matter because Kenny has 2 more games left this season and play him every play. And he's running the football like a madman. That one juke he had on 3rd and 2, he made, who was it? He made Nate Landman missing the hole in a phone booth. It was unbelievable. I mean, I haven't seen a juke like that in a long time. I mean, Kenneth Walker is probably the last guy you want to tackle at the moment, and I'm excited to see how he runs totes the rock on Sunday. It's going to be
and Landman's been a phenomenal football player this year. I know he hasn't been a huge name, but he's been incredible this year. To juke him like that was really awesome to see. And also, Smooth, you bring up a great point because Charbonnet getting those touches earlier in the year, maybe Kenny isn't as fresh as he is now for the playoffs when they need him the most.
Yeah, a lot of these like reasons Seattle's offense kind of flattered late in the year is because Kenneth Walker was banged up.
Right. Yeah. No, you're completely right. I just think that this offense operates at a different pace, at a different level when Kenny's healthy and when he's running the ball really well. And I think the Patriots have a tall task ahead of them, especially that banged up linebacker core, because Kenneth Walker is a hard guy to tackle right now, and the Seahawks offensive line has been playing really well. And you pair that with JSN and Cooper Kupp. It's kind of pick your poison. Are we loading the box? Or are we playing cover 4 here? And it's going to be a good challenge for Seattle's D. I would also like to bring up too. Devontae Adams is now 0-5 in conference championships, and I think there are 3 other NFL players that have lost 5 or more conference championships, and I mean, especially for a Hall of Famer, you got to feel for the guy, right? He was 0-4 in Green Bay. Green Bay was so close every time he was there, and I guarantee he probably thought this was going to be the year, and even had a good game too. He had a touchdown. I think he had a buck. 10 receiving? I mean, I'm gutted for Devontae Adams and the Rams in general. I mean, obviously Stafford got his ring 3 years ago, which was much deserved. But I thought the Rams were a competitive team, and obviously I think they were the Super Bowl favorite. Not only coming into the year, but for the majority of the year, a lot of people thought the Rams were the team to beat, and they were.
Let me ask you this, Max. So last year when they played the Eagles, not many people bring this up about why the Rams lost because Saquon played so well in that game. Kyron Williams had another really bad fumble that led to points for the Eagles. That was the deciding factor in the game.
Or Jalen Carter's sack, but I'm with you.
Well, it's obviously Jalen Carter's sack. I mean, like, something you look back at, and I feel to a certain extent the officiating
did kind of take over towards the end of that game.
Take over. That both teams got hosed in some calls, I would say. The taunting call, I thought, yes, it is a rule, but it's the NFC Championship game. Do you want a game of such importance to be affected by a penalty like that?
Yeah, I feel you. I agree. I think consistency plays a big part, right? Regardless of the magnitude of the game, I completely hear your point, though. You got to call the calls consistently. If he's doing that in the regular season, you can't give him the right to do that in the postseason. And it wasn't.
But I'll say, but here's my counterpoint to that. We've seen a lot of contact in the secondaries all playoffs long, and they're letting go a lot of pass plays that normally get called PI. You saw in the Bills-Broncos game, they weren't calling anything until the very end of that game. That's why a lot of Bills fans were upset because why are you letting both teams get away with this for the entire game, and now you're going to let it decide the game?
I do think the taunting call was the right call because you saw the ref look at Tariq Woolen and be like, all right, enough's enough. And he still walked damn near over the white line into their bench, talking smack to coaches, not even alone players. You know what I mean? So I thought it was justified, but I do agree that it sucks to see it come down to a flag like that, especially if the Rams were to go on a win.
And then I guess I think we're burying the lead, as they say in journalism. All right, the Cooper Kupp third down catch. All right, let me ask you, both you gentlemen this. Was that a catch? Was it even a catch?
I saw it back in real time, and I thought, not a catch. I think the Rams will get the ball back here and make it interesting. It was surprising to me how quick they were okay with the catch. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, I thought in real time he got the first down. They kept referencing the sky cam view, which looked to me like he was a tiny bit short. And what's funny was they went to commercial break, and when they came back from break, they didn't even review. They didn't even obviously the chains are gone, right? So we use a virtual measurement. They didn't even virtual measure it, if I'm mistaken. They kind of just skipped right over it, and it was a quick review. They gave him the first down like it was nothing. On live TV, it looked like when he reached for the first down, it looked like he got it. But then when we saw the sky cam, or maybe it was the field cam, it was like, oh shit, he could be short. And I kept like thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, well, if he was an inch short, they gotta think they would go for it, right? I mean, there's 7 minutes left in the game. One drive puts this fucking game out of reach. Like, you gotta think he'd go, but I still think to this day, like, if that had been marked short, or say, in an alternate universe, if his knee came down a yard short, like, what would they have done? Probably have punted it, maybe have gone. I don't know.
They would have punted it because you're up 4 if you don't pick it up, then I think the Rams score a touchdown and the game.
Right.
I do think it.
After your defense had just made an incredible stop, you didn't want to put your defense back in the same situation. So I thought the Cooper Kupp catch was insane. It was a great throw by Darnold too. I mean, there was tight coverage. Brady was coming across the middle of the field. It was 3rd and 6. Tight coverage. Darnold put the ball right on the money. Gave Cooper a chance to catch it and reach for the first down. It was a great effort by Coop, and you're right. Like, it wasn't like there was a 5-minute delay on TV. Oh, we're measuring this. It was, we're going to commercial. We're back. Oh, first down. It was.
Yeah, and my criticism of Sean McVay, I think he's a great coach. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he sucks or saying anything controversial. His in-game management, particularly at the end of games, it's very Andy Reid-ish, where like he calls the timeout when it first happens. And then he wants to throw the challenge flag, and then they tell him, oh, if you throw the challenge flag, you're going to lose another timeout, which I thought was wrong because you can't call 2 timeouts in a row in the NFL. You get penalized for that.
Right.
And we've seen plenty of times in the past, guy takes a timeout, goes to the ref, oh, I actually want to challenge it. Can we change it to a challenge? Ref will allow it. The refs were so adamant that this was 1, a catch, and then 2, it was a first down. It felt like it was.
Did it give you flashbacks? It's not the same play, but I kind of got flashback to Ertz touchdown in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, where he went 1-2 inbounds, dove, ball hits the ground, like similar kind of, hey, is it even a catch? You know what I mean? Or are you thinking it was totally a catch and it's just the spot of the ball?
I think he caught the ball. I think he was short.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was too close to call him short. I don't think in a reasonable world they could have called him short and not like gotten heat for it. I mean, it was such a bang play. If you called him short, fine. I still think to this day they probably would have. If he had gotten called short, it would have been by about a full inch. All right, and there's no good reason why you can't pick up a full inch by doing a QB.
I mean, I can pull up the play right now, but my hand's getting tired. So give me.
It just depends on it depends on what angle you look at it, because they showed a couple different angles on TV, and the one angle looked like he got it. And I think it was the sky cam. It looked like he got it, and then like the field angle, it looked like he was short. But it's like, all right, which angle they're referencing here? What, they're going to go with the call on the field majority of the time. And that was a first down, and I thought it was the right call.
Well, this is something the NFL is one of the biggest franchises in all of sports. I think something where soccer went wrong, they have VAR, right? Video assistant referee. Why are we not utilizing the technology to get this call right on the sport's biggest moment of this football season? Why are we not just stopping the play, doing the right thing, get the virtual measurement so that everyone's happy and we're not talking about this right now, you know?
Yeah. No,
Is this not why you ditch the chain gang and do the virtual measurement for moments like this?
I agree, especially with a moment with the magnitude that this holds. Yeah, I agree. I was surprised that the review was so quick. I thought we were going to be there sitting on our couch for 5-10 minutes while they were looking. No, that's
So
what
can you pause it when he goes to the ground? Because I thought I agree with Mac. I think he was maybe a hair short.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. And
Like,
who knows what the game would have played out.
Yeah, he's short. He's short by about half a yard. There he is right there. I just paused it. He's clearly short. Like
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
This is the National Football League we're talking about, Smooth. Come on.
And then apparently the ref said, told McVay, if you challenge it, we're not going to reverse it. Like, I would be like, what the hell what do you mean?
This is a joke. What is this, the XFL or something? Come on.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge call in the game. And it was a big play in the game, too, man. It really was.
This is not the St. Louis Battlehawks we're talking about here. This is the LA Rams. There's 3 minutes left in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. It was, I mean, the game was amazing, though. Nothing short of
an excellent football game. Just wish there were a little less ref interference towards the end of it. Talk to me about the Super Bowl. What any predictions come up for the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's a great question. It's a very intriguing matchup. It's funny, the Seahawks haven't played a team that they haven't seen yet this year in 6 weeks. I mean, their last 5 games has been against repeat offenders, repeat matchups. This is a brand new team for the Seahawks. I'm excited to see how they come out and play. I think it's a good matchup, man. I really do. The Patriots D-line, like Milton Williams and Christian Barmore against, like we talked about, Grace Abel, Jim Vaughn, and Anthony Bradford, their one weak link on the O-line for the Seahawks, will be fascinating to watch. I think the Patriots secondary matching up against the Seahawks secondary will be fascinating to watch, and vice versa too. I think deep down I was rooting for the Patriots to win. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Denver win, but I was rooting for the Patriots to win because I thought they presented the best matchup to the NFC winner. And if it's the Seahawks, awesome. I thought they would have played the Rams well, but it's going to be a good matchup. I really do. The line obviously opened at 3.5. All the sharps bet it up to 4.5 within an hour. I don't think it's going to move off of 4.5. I think it'll probably close at 4.5. But I'd like the value on the Patriots getting 4.5 points. I don't think that Seattle's 5 whole points better than the Patriots. I think Seattle's a slightly better team, and if I'm putting money on the game, I'm putting money on Seattle to win the game. But I think it's going to be a damn good game. I mean, Patriots have a ton of guys that have never been there before, a young team. Seattle kind of similar. It just feels like Seattle's the better team and is kind of rolling with a little bit more momentum at the moment. But who knows? Who knows? And obviously, the Patriots have to travel cross country. Seattle doesn't. Seattle's familiar with that stadium. Patriots aren't. The favor's definitely in Seattle's hands, but I wouldn't ever count out Mike Vrabel and Drake May and what they've been up to over there in New England. I mean, they're running a pretty tight shift over there, and I'm excited to see it continue. It's going to be a phenomenal game. I'm looking forward to it. I will also say I found this fascinating. This has kind of been a common theme that is ran true all year. TreVeyon Henderson got 4 snaps on Sunday. What are we doing here, right? Like all year. I mean, if you drafted TreVeyon Henderson in fantasy football, it's like, all right, when's he going to break out? When's he going to have that one game that Vrabel splits the touches evenly between him and Ramondre? And it started to happen towards the end of the year, and he was amazing. But why are we going away from it? I mean, I understand, the snow was starting to come down pretty hard and whatnot. You're trying to control the game a little bit better. But the touches shouldn't be 90% Ramondre and 10%
I do feel like at a certain point, if the Patriots lose the Super Bowl, their fans are going to immediately turn on Josh McDaniels. He's very easy to dislike, and you mentioned like Patriots maybe like all not issues, but like the Patriots should be doing things this way. Why are they doing it that way? I mean, dude, McDaniels is the play caller. It's his offense. It's the same offense Brady ran. Won 3 Super Bowls with Josh McDaniels. Listen, man.
I tend to.
I agree with you about Travion Henderson. I'm going to tell you why. I was rewatching the Eagles Super Bowl 52. The unsung hero of that game is Corey Clement, right? Corey Clement had a lot of big catches coming out of the backfield. What does Travion Henderson excel at the most? Catching passes as a running back.
Right.
They're going to have to get creative. Like, they can't just have everyone run like 10-yard outs and Drake May's just digging, is just, connecting on every single one. They're going to have to get a little creative on offense, especially against Seattle, just because Seattle's the best offense they've faced in the playoffs by a significant margin, I think. And they're going to have to put up points. Like, they can't rely on their defense allowing 14 points as well.
Seattle's games have been pretty much shootouts, even with their amazing defense. And you bring up a very positive point about Trevion, pass catching out of the backfield. Fantastic point. Every time I watch Ramondre, I think he is obviously better in short yardage. I'm waiting for that Ramondre patented fumble that we see year in and year out in the regular season. I know it hasn't happened in the playoffs. I'm hoping I'm wrong, right? I want to see him do well, but I'm like, every time he gets the rock, I'm just nervous he's going to lose it in a tough position.
Well, this is where I bring up creativity on offense. And Mac, I don't know if you want to chime in on this as well. Patriots head coach Matt Vrabel, when he was a player, he was an outside linebacker for his entire NFL career. The Patriots would occasionally have him in like red zone packages, catching passes.
Yep. Oh, he's caught three career touchdowns?
He caught a touchdown against the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get creative, I think, at some point, because not trying to like say like, oh, Patriots Mickey Mouse run. Their defense has played really well. The offenses they face have all had a significant injury, on their offense that probably hurt them more than we let on. Chargers, no Joe Wall. Their O-line's totally banged up.
No Slater.
No
Amarian.
No Amarian. Yeah, Texans, no Nico Collins, right?
CJ Stroud throwing 5 picks.
CJ Stroud, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Michael said to me during that, if CJ Stroud had prime Randy Moss and prime Megatron, he still would have thrown 4 picks. He looked like he didn't want to be there. I was like, that's a little harsh, dude. That's a little extreme.
That's awesome.
And then, obviously, the Broncos, no Bo Nix. Bo Nix did throw 28 touchdowns this year.
But he does blow.
Broncos. No, he blows. But you look at Seattle, like, dude, they're besides Charbonnet,
they should win this game unless Sam Darnold loses them the game. You know what I mean? But I think it'll still be a close game regardless. And I know people are like, hey, we'll just bracket. You got to bracket JSN. He's so good. I think he'll find a way to get open. I do think Christian Gonzalez maybe limits him a little bit more than the Rams could, for sure. I think he will do that. But I still think JSN will be JSN. And maybe the unsung hero of this game, let's get some money on Cooper Kupp Super Bowl MVP.
No.
He tends to show out in big games. You're completely right. I will say, though, with JSN,
Darnold win an MVP?
This is the best corner JSN's probably faced in a number of weeks. I mean, obviously, against San Fran divisional, Diamador Lenore is all right. San Fran's employs a bunch of average corners, and then last week it was surprising. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes didn't play a snap that first half. I'm not sure if they didn't like the matchup or what.
He was on special teams.
Play Emmanuel Forbes, and they had Darius Williams locked on him the whole game, and JSN was cooking his ass all night. So I think that this is the best corner that JSN will see in probably the last 6 or 7 weeks. I'm more excited than the next guy to watch it. It's going to be fascinating. But I do think the Patriots are waiting to unleash Travion Henderson for the Super Bowl. I don't think they plan it to be that way. I just think that's how it's going to happen. And I think he definitely won't see only 4 touches next Sunday. I think him and Ramondre will split pretty evenly. But I think this just feels like a big Travion Henderson, not coming out party, but just game in general. And it's going to be cool to see, because when Travion has the ball in his hands, I mean, he's lightning in a bottle, man. He makes shit happen. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I kind of have a different take. I think for the path for the Patriots to beat Seattle, and if I'm New England, I'm thinking of finding every possible chance I can get to get Stephon Diggs on Tariq Woolen, because after that championship game, watching seeing him have that meltdown, essentially,
Yep.
I'm going to try to do everything I possibly can to get in his head and get the Seahawks off their game. Because, listen, it's the Patriots, right? But this isn't like the Bill Belichick Patriots. Like the Bill Belichick Patriots, it felt like they were always there. So they had that championship experience. Neither one of these teams really has any championship experience to speak of. The only guy that I can know off the top of my head, there's actually 2 guys, one from each team, that's recently played in the Super Bowl and played a prominent role. For the New England Patriots, it is Milton Williams.
Yeah, okay.
And then for the Seahawks, it is Cooper Kupp.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking the same thing. Like, who on either of these teams have ever played in a damn Super Bowl? It's Milton last year, Cooper Kupp, and outside of that, it's kind of hard pressed.
You know what else? How about Mike Vrabel?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. He's got big game experience.
Well, Mike Vrabel's aiming to be only the second head coach in NFL history to win a Super Bowl as a player and coach.
Head coach
on the same team.
Yeah, which is really cool. Which is
incredible,
extremely cool.
All right, I want to Mac. What do you what do you know about NFL head coaching news?
Not a whole lot.
Did you see what happened today in Cleveland? Well, I know.
So Cleveland stole Todd Monken from us, which I'm obviously pretty upset about, because there's not a whole lot of remaining options for the green guys right in Philadelphia. I don't know if Todd Monken was the right fit for us, and I'm still confused as to why he chose Cleveland over Philly if we even offered him the spot.
Because it's a head coaching job.
Right.
There's like 32 of them.
Is he the head? Oh, he was hired as the head coach. Okay.
Oh yes. Well, they hired Todd Monken as the head coach today, and it came out today that believe it or not, so apparently, the Browns GM and the company the Browns paid a company to help them find the next head coach. So this company came up with all these tests for coaching candidates to take, and they had to write essays to explain why would you be the best fit to be the Cleveland Browns head coach. Like the coaches are these candidates are taking the SATs to go become the Cleveland Browns head coach. So most of the people just didn't want to be involved in it. Like, you should be begging me to coach your stupid, horribly run team, not the other way around.
It is one of 32 jobs, and they're.
It is. Someone's got to do it. I get. It's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it. Well, Jim Schwartz thought he was going to get the job, so he stormed out of the building today, said his goodbyes to a couple people, and told the Browns to go F themselves. Like, he's not going to come back as their D coordinator, despite being under contract as their D coordinator.
I have not been on Twitter today at all. but that is crazy. I think I did see some headlines around Jim Schwartz and obviously Tom Monken joining the staff, but that is...
And apparently some Browns players were like pushing for Schwartz to be the head coach, most notably Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, yeah.
What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'm not sure if Tom Monken's going to work out there. I don't think anybody works out there because
I think it's great for. I think it's amazing for Shador because the Ravens were one of the teams that wanted to draft Shador, and I'm sure Tom Monken might have been one of those guys saying, "Hey, why don't we bring in Shador? I can develop him as a backup for Lamar."
Yeah.
The Ravens basically missed the playoffs this year because they failed to develop a competent backup for Lamar Jackson.
100%. Great job.
So Tom Monken wants to coach Shador, Pro Bowl quarterback Shador Sanders, as Zach brought up earlier.
Yeah.
One of the
I'm not sure he's the right fit, if I'm being completely honest. And I never have trust in the Cleveland Browns to find a good head coach. I thought the world was Stefanski, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out, and that's okay. One guy I was kind of, I don't think it was never reported that we interviewed him, but like one guy I just always have had in the back of my mind as like I think a good suitor for the Eagles OC job is Mike Kafka. If anybody remembers him.
No, I know who Mike Kafka is.
He's been on the Giants staff the past couple of years, and I think actually Detroit just brought him in as like maybe a quality control specialist in the past couple of days. I think I saw on Twitter, but like I was kind of excited about him. I was really looking forward to maybe giving him an interview and whatnot. I thought he was for sure going to come up on the names that were being mentioned, and I don't even think we gave him a shot.
The rumor. So actually, from what I've done research wise for the next Eagles OC, there's one name right now he's kind of in the lead, I guess, because he's the only one they seem to be really interested in. It's the quarterbacks coach of the Green Bay Packers, Sean Mannion, excuse me. Former Rams quarterback.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay. I think I did see that. Sean Mannion. I guess I wouldn't be opposed. I trust Howie with whatever he wants to do. Obviously, if we can pull from out of house, that'd be nice, and not promote somebody from in house. That's all I really care about.
Yeah, apparently. So, and then Schefter was Zach Schefter was on 97.5 The Fanatic this morning. They're asking about the Eagles OC, comparing it to how the Vatican selects the new pope with how long it's taking for them to find the new offensive coordinator. Shefty was like, "Oh, that's not going to be the biggest news coming out of Novacare next week." And they asked him what it was. And they're like, "AJ Brown's getting traded?" He's like, "No, bigger than that."
I'm not sure how much stock I'll put into there. I did see that. I do think Jeff Stoutland's going to be demoted as the run game coordinator. I think he'll just return back to handling offensive line coach duties. And whoever I think we do hire as OC will probably simultaneously take on the coordinator of the run game. But I don't know what that report could be. AJ Brown's not leaving our team. I don't care who you are and what you say and what you think about football. AJ Brown's not leaving the Eagles, man. Okay.
At least not this year. Maybe next year.
I think the news, that you're referring, if we were to fire Sirianni, it would have happened already, right? So I don't think Sirianni's leaving.
I think knowing Howie, I think Howie maybe he's calling the Cardinals saying, "Hey,
maybe a trade for a coach."
Yeah, what would you give me for Sirianni?
Mm-hmm.
What would you give me? So just to give you guys a heads up, the rumor is that the Raiders are in the lead to hire away from Seattle their offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
They're going to pair him with Fernando Mendoza. I think that's a perfect fit.
Home run. Yeah.
That is a perfect fit. I don't know how Mr. or one of our coworkers who's a Raiders fan will complain about that. That is literally like the ideal scenario.
Yeah. I think one that. No, go ahead.
I agree. I think that'd be a home run hire. I really do. I mean, Clint has been. I mean, flexing the big guns. He's like that play call you mentioned there, John. Like that. The little wiggle route that they sent JSN out, like Clint's been balling, and with Sam Darnold back there at QB, I think that'd be a great hire. And the Raiders haven't seemed to be able to get it right. Pete Carroll, I mean, just was not the right hire for.
Well, he's just out of his element.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce sucks. Right, I don't even know what Antonio Pierce does right now. Like they need a young gun. They need a nice young offensive minded head coach. Clint Kubiak would be perfect for the Raiders if they can prime away from Seattle. But obviously, it won't take place until after the Super Bowl anyway. Maybe not.
Well, because this is the bye week before the Super Bowl, teams are allowed to interview.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why. So Kubiak's doing interviews right now. That's when last year with Kellen Moore, he famously went down to New Orleans, came back, and then the Eagles told him, "Look, either take the job now or don't do what Gannon did, which was not show up the last week."
I was just going to say, and that's also why Gannon was completely checked out in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, is because he knew damn well he was getting that Cardinals job before the game even fucking started, and he lost us the game. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think one that's going under the radar, Dayball to the Titans. Absolutely love that for Cam Ward.
Yeah, well, there was a report that came out earlier this morning that the Giants actually were looking to trade the farm last April for Cam Ward in the draft, the number 1 overall pick. The Titans wouldn't budge. I think it's because Daboll really wanted to pair up with Cam Ward, and now he gets him. I think that's the big reason why Daboll was so bullish on the Eagles job and wanted to take
the Eagles never offered Daboll the job. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, that's
crazy.
There was mutual interest, but you're right. We never made him a formal offer, and I think we would have. I mean, he's got experience with Jalen Hurts at Bama. Like,
he's going to go be the head coach down in Tennessee, so it's like more money. You're going to be the head coach.
He's going to be the offensive coordinator. Saleh.
Really?
Yes.
So Saleh's the head coach, but Daboll will kind of run the show. I mean, him and Saleh, even Saleh.
Can we just point out the fact that
I like that for the Titans?
The fact that the Titans hired 2 former New York head coaches to basically run their team.
Yeah, on paper it doesn't sound great, but if you're going to hire an ex-Giant coach, I think those are the 2 guys you do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the Daboll hire for Tennessee. I think that would be perfect for Cam Ward. They just got to surround him with a couple playmakers, and I like where Tennessee's going, man.
They got a young wide receiver core. If they draft well, I think they could be a decent team this year.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, Daboll. You know, the teams do the pre-draft visits. You know, all the prospects. So the guys like the presumed number 1 overall pick. They'll still visit other teams. In the rare event that team may want to jump up to 1st overall to draft him. Stafford was on a podcast explaining this too. He was like, "Yeah, when I was in the draft, I remember interviewing with the Niners, and the Niners told me flat out, they're like, hey, if the Lions don't want to pick you, like, we're going to trade up to 1st overall to draft you, just to let you know." So Daboll fell in love with Cam Ward, so that's the guy he wants to coach. I think that's, wink, wink, draft Cam Ward in fantasy if they actually get weapons.
But only draft and make sure you take Tyler Shuck first. He's going to be a guy next year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I guess before I jet, what are our thoughts on, I guess, maybe the draft, the upcoming draft, and who's slated, I guess, to go top 5 with the news that Dante Moore is returning. So obviously we're going to lock in Mendoza at 1 overall, but with the New York Jets, like, what are we thinking here? I mean, are we thinking best player available? Are we thinking maybe trade back, accumulate some assets here?
I think they're going to take Ruben Baines so they can copy what the Lions did when they took Aiden Hutchinson 2nd overall. That's my guess.
Okay. I respect that. I respectfully disagree. I think Arvell Reese is the much better player and prospect. I think that's probably the direction they go, but we'll see. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I think Arvell probably goes 2, if I'm being honest. 3 is where it'll get interesting. I mean, who knows where the Cardinals want to go? If if you're asking me who the third best player in the draft is, I think it's hands down Caleb Downs. But I mean, who knows? After Mendoza, it's going to get interesting. I mean, Jeremiah Love should be up there as well, and I think we'll probably be a Cowboy or Chief in April, but we'll see. I think it'll be an interesting draft.
Zach, do you think a lot of these teams that are bad are going to prioritize like offensive line? There's a lot of good offensive linemen in this draft.
I honestly, that's the exact direction I was going. I was thinking the outside tackle for Utah, Spencer Fano, maybe Francis from Miami, or I don't think he's good enough, but Carnell Tate maybe even up near there. I don't think he's nearly as good as the previous Ohio State wideouts we've seen.
I'm gonna give you guys a name, and if this guy kills it at the combine, I think he's going to be a top 5 pick. It's the D tackle from Clemson, Peter Woods. If you
Peter Woods and TJ Parker, right? They're both ballers.
So, and I think though, you look at this postseason, you look at like Milton Williams, what he's done for the Patriots. When you look at like a Leonard Williams and like a Byron Murphy have done for the Seahawks, you look at what Jalen Carter does for the Eagles. You look at a lot of these elite defenses in the NFL. They all have one great interior defensive lineman that helps anchor that defense. And I think about these really bad teams in the NFL, right? Oh, we need to build a great defense. Okay. Oh, we got this freak D tackle. Oh, wow. Played at Clemson. They always produce good defensive linemen.
Yeah.
That's just kind of my guess.
Raiders is definitely a lock for Mendoza. The Jets and I think the Cardinals is where it gets interesting because I don't know, like you said, maybe they go.
The Cardinals O-line is shambolic.
Right. I feel like the Titans and Giants have to go the best O-lineman available. I just think that's a must. They already have good quarterbacks. Protect your assets. Jets, Cardinals, who knows? But I'm excited to see what goes down.
I agree. They're both in dire need of quarterbacks, but there's no quarterback worthy.
No quarterback
overall after Dante Moore's the news of Dante Moore. You're not taking Ty Simpson 2 or 3 overall. Your best bet if you're the Jets or the Cardinals to go offensive tackle, and there's 2 premier offensive tackles, right? The guy from Miami, the guy from Utah, is my best guess. I do think after watching that freaking Oregon Texas Tech game, I mean, David Bailey, the DM from Texas Tech, is a fucking monster. He, in my opinion, should go top 7 in the draft. And if you're a team picking in the top 7, you need some defensive line reinforcements, you should be taking his ass right away, no questions asked. I think he'll slip in there. I'm bigger on Ohio State receivers than the next guy, right? I think they're wide receiver next to LSU, obviously. But, I mean, I don't think Carnell Tate's much better than JSN coming out. JSN wasn't picked until 22nd in the first round.
Is he better than JSN?
Carnell Tate in the top 5 of the draft.
Well, JSN played his last year at college with, I believe, with like a wrist injury. And
that's fair.
But JSN I thought was a better prospect than Carnell Tate is. Carnell Tate's of all these like OSU cyborgs, he's the least cyborgish of all of them. Right. So why are we taking him top 5 overall? Because
even Emeka Egbuka.
See, and Egbuka too. Egbuka went like 18 or something.
20. Carnell Tate's going to fall. He's not going to go high. Even these teams.
I'm confused as to why he's being mocked in the top 10 consistently. You look
he's
up
being mocked as
every mock he's going top 10. It's like he's not much better than Egbuka and JSN were as a prospect coming out. It's the pedigree.
I think we see this every year in early mocks. That's why I look at the mocks and then I'm like, okay, let's see what happens once we get to the combine, Senior Bowl. The top receiver in the draft, I think, should be Jordan Tyson from ASU, Arizona State, excuse me, because he has like the physical intangibles, and he's very similar to Teteroa McMillan, kind of coming out where people are like, oh, these guys are freak, but like he could be like JJ Arcega-Whiteside, or he could be like Drake London. Like it's literally one or the other, right?
Yeah. I agree. He's got a ton of raw talent. I mean, I'm not sure if it's his twin brother or his brother plays in the NBA. He plays on the Cavs.
Yes, you're correct. He lit up the Sixers the other night. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I think if not a twin brother, I think they're damn close in age. But I mean, he's got the physical tools, and if you watch him at Arizona State, you're like, all right, this guy is fucking like head over heels better than everybody. I mean, he's just running laps with everybody. I think he obviously is deserving to be a top 10, 15 pick. Not Cornell Tate. I like Makai Lemon, the guy from USC, who won the Biletnikoff, by the way. I didn't watch enough of him to have too big of an opinion, but I just don't think Cornell Tate's worthy of a top 10 pick. I mean, I don't know if I'm missing something here, but JSN was a much more productive receiver at Ohio State, and I guess you bring up a good point with the injury, but I don't know how Cornell Tate got this high so quick, and I think teams should probably pump the brakes a little bit. He reminds me a lot of Matt Golden, not his play style at all, just how high he's been mocked and how high he's been valued. Matt Golden should not have been a first-round pick, in my opinion, and it kind of proved itself this year. Like I feel similar. Hey, listen, Cornell Tate's a great football player. He is, but he shouldn't be mocked as high as he is. So I'm fascinated to see where he goes in April.
Two things. One, I got the Flyers game on the background. Zamola plays for the Blue Jackets.
Because he got traded to the Penguins, and then he refused to report to him, and then he got traded to the Blue Jackets.
And then my actual, to bring it back here, I think the Eagles got to go tight end, O-line, 1-2, some combination of that, because I think the defense locked in, but I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq would be a dream first-round pick, obviously, if Goddard walks, but we'll see if he even lasts to pick 24. It'll be exciting. We had an exciting couple months, but I'm going to jet. I think my hour's up. I think I'm all out of quarters here. But I appreciate you guys having me on, as always. And more to come here, guys. More to come.
All right, thanks, Mac. Thank you for calling in.
Mac, thank you for calling in, dude. Great times, brother.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, I'll call in soon. We'll see you guys later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Be well.
Okay, well, I think that's I think you have we have to wrap it up for tonight, but thank you, Zach, for coming in and filling in for Michael. Thanks, Mac, for giving us all of his takes. Yeah, that was very productive.
We got the F-bomb counter up to 5, which I think is.
I counted 6.
Did you get 6? I think that's a new record for the show, which is, we love, get up to new heights, as the Kelsey brothers would say.
New heights, yes. No, I think it's funny. No, it's
new
funny.
Heights for the show. But yeah, what a great time, dude. Thank you for having me out.
Yeah, not a problem.
Awesome. It was nice to get my feet wet and get back on the field,
There you go.
Thanks for having me out. Michael,
you got it, man. Thank you for joining the podcast.
Thank you, Smooth. Peace and love, brother.
Take it easy, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night.
We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the TheP-LotPod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.